All right, to watch this video for Wednesday, October 18th. Look at the SPY. I mean, narrow range. Look at the volume, 31 million. I went back and looked at the day before, last trading day before Christmas of this year. Or I'm sorry, last year, and it was lower. It was higher volume than this. Somebody tweeted this is the lowest volume in the SPY since 2006. I don't know if that's true, but wow. I mean, I don't know where that came from, or I should say where that didn't come from, but there was just no volume today. Having said that, still some really nice trading in the chat room. I'm going to go ahead and just go right into the watch list for tomorrow. All right. SSKN. By the way, I had a really nice, I haven't had a red day in October, and I had a really nice green day going today until about 30 minutes before the closing bell. My day went red, but not because of trading. I had to write a check for a new AC system. So that put me red on the day, which sucked. But trading's been great. All right, so SSKN, nothing interesting here at all. But in after hours, I assume they had news. It's trading at $2.30. So a possible gap and go tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see if there's any interest in the pre-market, if it meets our pre-market volume parameters, and maybe put it on the gap play list tomorrow. So just, take a peek at that one in the pre-market tomorrow. NEOT, huge move today. Massive volume. We'll see if we get a red to green or something like that tomorrow. Anytime something like, as a big candle like that, you don't see anything else on the daily chart that big on this one. You got to be careful that you're not chasing, but sometimes you get a nice move the next day, and a lot of times you get a nice move 2 or 3 days later, so I'm really just going to keep that one on watch. HTGM, I'm not in love with this one, and I was watching it before today's candle, right? It looked pretty good. You had this high back here of 235, then the day, yesterday, it put in 244 highs. I mean, it looks like it's got room to run, and I'll show you what it did on an intraday basis today. There were some people that, matter of fact, I mentioned this when it was right about here for a possible red to green with high of day above as another catalyst, and it got a nice pop. I didn't take this myself, but right from here to here is a very nice trade. Could have made some money there. But because, and then it did this, actually took out the low of day, and then it ends up closing back near the high. So the fact that it had afternoon strength, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to watch that tomorrow. I'm not in love with it, but we'll see. BNTC, pretty nice intraday move, biggest volume. Now keep in mind, this volume, it was 1.5 million. So you can tell how thin this thing is. It like never even trades a million shares. This day, 1.2 million. Did have a massive day back here. So when I see something like this, I know that this one can break free, and you had another big candle here. Hasn't done it in a while, but you did have a nice 2-day run back here. Chop fest, and then another attempt. So certainly, and the hole number 3 might come into play tomorrow. So this is certainly worth watching tomorrow. SRAX, man, I'm out there writing a check for an AC unit, and my chat room's in here just killing it on this. I didn't see this when I came back to the room. It already looked like this. But I wasn't surprised to see that they were on it and they were making money on it. Anyway, with this kind of afternoon rally. And that strong, pretty strong close, I guess you could argue. Definitely want to watch this one tomorrow. That's a huge move. APHB, I actually had this one on my watch list, and much like SRAX, I'm out there writing a check for the AC, and I already had this one on the chart. So there's a strong chance I would have caught this one on this pop. Yesterday's high still above is another catalyst, and you had a really nice pop. Anyway, so you kind of had a breakout there. Remember, we've been watching this one. Remember, we had this kind of on a tight flag pattern here after this pop, and then today in the afternoon I was out of the room and cut loose. Anyway, I'm going to watch it for a follow-through day tomorrow because it still has room to run. WPCS, not in love with this one. When you go to intraday, I had it on bounce watch today. It did get nice volume right here when it went from $1.80 to 205, but it kind of gave all of that back at the end of the day. It is in that kind of buy zone that we look for on strong stocks on pullbacks. I think it's worth, and the hole number 2 might come into play tomorrow, so I think it's worth having on watch. I don't really like the way it gave back that pop at the end of the day. LBIX, crazy mover, then gapped up and put in 2 red days. I still think it looks like it needs to come in further, but it's a good potential for a bounce, turn back up tomorrow. CLSN, right in that buy zone between the 8 and the 20 day. Recent big moves, that's something else I want to see here and here. 4 days lower on declining volume. Pretty good setup for a bounce tomorrow. No trades in it today. CASI, kind of the same scenario. Big move, pull back on lower volume to that buy zone. I call it the buy zone. That doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. It means if it gives me a proper setup. So that one's also interesting. CCIH, Only 138,000 today, so it's certainly not a high volume player. But you did have a really nice 2-day move here from 85 cents to $1.39, and it's really kind of flagging ever since. It's holding the 8-day. I really like it over $1.20, but over this 2-day high, over 115, you might see volume come in. Some of these Chinese names have been moving, and it's found support. So I do kind of like this one. I'd call this like a sleeper play, right? Potential move, but it's not getting a lot of volume the last few days. OPTT got a nice pop this morning, and then kind of closed strong. And for some reason, in after hours, it's going even farther. I couldn't find fresh news, but I like the chart because you had this pop here that ended up topping out at 165, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. Hold on. Yeah, 165, and then kind of a lower high, and then nice volume today. So you might take out all of this and then maybe head up to the 200-day. So we'll watch that one tomorrow. Looks like it might be gapping in the morning. We'll see. And lastly, I have DEST, which I called in the chat room, right around 205, 210 today, and ended up closing really strong. I didn't make what I could have out of it, but as a trader, I never do. I never sell the top, so I try to take the middle out of some of these moves. Very strong close, closing at the highs. When this was 205 or 210-ish, it was over 2, and it had resistance after this island down here. It had resistance at 2, like over 2 is up into the gap, right? And then it kind of hit it back here again. Then today was having really unusual volume and breaking through 2. So that's why I liked it. The daily chart coupled with the volume on the intraday, it actually moved farther than I thought it would because I was hoping, it would close maybe right around here and be really interesting for tomorrow. But anything can happen. This could run another dollar or it could fail. I don't know. But I'm going to watch this one tomorrow too. We're also going to add some gappers in the pre-market that we can stock for potential gap and go plays. And that is plenty to watch. All right. Have a great evening. We'll see everybody tomorrow.